All right, guys. Sorry I couldn't be here today. I had an appointment that I had to change to the afternoon, and I didn't find out about it till just the other day. So, we're going to talk about similarity today. Similarity, much like congruence, except a couple weeks ago when we talked about congruence, congruence was same size, same shape. Similarity is when you have the same shape, but they can be different sizes. So we start at the beginning. How do we identify that two shapes are similar to each other? Well, you can see in the notes, by the way, these should be on page 33 of your notes, okay? We have to have angles that are congruent and corresponding side lengths that are proportional. So we start here. This pen doesn't want to work today, of course, so I'll see if I can get it to go. So you start by being able to say that the angles are all congruent. So let's pretend that A and Z have one dash. So you see here A is congruent to X. We'll say B and Y both have two curves, so B and Y are congruent. And we'll say that C and Z are both right angles, so they're going to match. So all three angles match. Now, if you remember back to congruence, having three angles match was not enough to say that they're congruent because they could have the three same angles but different sizes. And this is really why. So the three angles match up, and the sides have to be in proportion. So let's say ABC is a smaller triangle, and that's 3, and that's 4, and that's 5. XYZ is a bigger triangle, that's 6, 8, and 10. So when you make a ratio of matching sides, they should all equal the same thing. So if you notice here, where it says proportions, AB over XY, given our numbers, AB over XY would be 5 over 10. And that should equal BC over YZ, which is 4 over 8. That should equal CA over ZX, which is 3 over 6. And what do all these have in common? They're equal to 1/2. So all three angles we had match up. All three sides have a ratio that's the same. Sorry about that. So again, all the sides are in proportion. They all give you the same ratio. Okay. So that's one thing you'll have to do today, and we'll look at that in a minute. You'll also have to find missing sides. Now on the bottom here it talks about perimeter of similar polygons, but I'm going to do two things with this here. So first, let's just take a look at these two triangles here, EDF and HGJ. And let's put an X. So what if I wanted to find the length of GJ knowing that the two triangles are already similar? Okay, you're going to set up a proportion. And what you do need to have first is you need to have a pair of corresponding sides that both values are there. So you'll notice 8 over 12. And you'll start with 8 over 12. And then I'm looking to find side X. And X matches with 12. So I'm going to put 12 over X. And then you solve it like we did yesterday with the cross multiplication. 8 times X, 8X. 12 times 12, 144. 144 divided by 8 is, that goes at once, 18. Okay, and that's all you do. It's pretty simple. You'll see problems in a second that have X plus 1, X minus 3 instead of just X, but same thing. What this part of the notes was also talking about, though, is that if two triangles are similar, their perimeters are similar as well. So you could set up a proportion to find the entire perimeter, not just one individual side. So let's say that I wanted to know the perimeter of HJG, not just one side or two sides. So we're going to use that 8 over 12 again. I'll do this in a different color. I don't know what happened to the pen today. I'll have to get a new one soon. So you go 8 over 12. Now, the second fraction is going to be the entire perimeter. 12 and 8 is 20. 20 and 10 is 30. The perimeter of EFD is 30. I want to know the perimeter of HJG. And then, again, cross multiply. Wow. Divide. And the perimeter is going to be 45. That's actually shown to you on the notes here. They reduced the fraction 8 over 12. You can do that. It doesn't matter. You'll still get the same answer. Okay? So I'll take a couple minutes real quick to look at the notes, the assignment you have, and I'll give you a couple examples if you want to watch this on. So we'll start on the side that says skills practice. Determine whether each pair of figures is similar. And so you just got to go through the process and write A is congruent to D. C is congruent to F. If you add 59 and 35, you get 94. 180 minus 94 is 86, not 80. And obviously that's going to be true for both triangles. So you also know that B is congruent to E. And then you have to take the sides. AB, for instance, matches DE, and that's 6 over 4. What does that reduce to? 3/2. You have BC over EF. That's 9 over 6. What does that reduce to? 3/2. I'll scoot that over a bit. And then you have AC over DF, which is 10.5 over 7, which actually does reduce to 3/2. That's supposed to be a 2. And so again, you need to have all three sides reduced to the same fraction. That's when you know that triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEF. And just like we wrote those statements for congruence, that's a similarity statement right there. Okay, so one done for you if you watch this video. Each pair of polygons is similar, find the value. So now we're going to solve for missing sides. So like I just showed you there, you can do, for instance, here you can choose any side. You can choose 14 to 7, 12 to 6, 26 to 13. It doesn't matter because all three of them have corresponding sides that are matching. The only thing you have to make sure is that you include the side with X and 13 because you're looking for X. So I'm going to do 12 over 6, that to that, equals 13 over X. And so you cross multiply 12x equals 13 times 6 is 1878. Divide by 12. Sorry, and x is 6.5. I wrote that, I paused it for a second, and I forgot to restart it. Okay, pretty simple there. Don't let the problems with the algebra like this throw you off. Remember, we put parentheses here. So this would be something like 4 over x plus 5 equals 3 over 9, parentheses, so you're going to get 4 times 9 is 36, and then here you're going to get 3 times x plus 5, and so when you distribute that, you get 3x plus 15 equals 36, and you just solve that. That's pretty easy. Minus the 15, you get 21, x equals 7. Okay? So there's problems like that on front and back. Get as much as you can done. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll go over it, and we'll move on. The board does say Quiz Wednesday. That's true. It's mainly over proportion in this. But if you can solve proportions, you should have no problem with this. Okay? All right. Good luck, and I'll see you on Tuesday.